From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Afternoon Edition.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Amanda Starantino.
I'm Ryan Yamamoto. Now at noon, a trial date has now been set for former President Trump's election interference trial. A federal judge set the date this morning. This is video of Trump's lawyers leaving the courthouse in Washington, D.C. That trial is scheduled for March 4th. Trump's lawyers had asked for the trial to be delayed until 2026, while the special counsel wanted to happen earlier in the year. The trial will start one day before Super Tuesday, when voters head to the polls in 16 states and territories. This is the case brought by the Justice Department. The former president is facing 4 counts related to his alleged attempts to overturn the 2020 election. The prosecution turned over more than 1 million pages of evidence to Trump's defense team. Trump has pleaded not guilty. And while this is playing out in Washington, D.C., the president's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, testified in an election interference case in Georgia. We found out the former president and his co-defendants will be arraigned September 6. Today's hearing is to consider if the case should move to federal court. Georgia's Secretary of State is expected to testify in today's hearing. He was the official who took the call from then-President Trump, asking him to find votes in Georgia. And the former president is facing charges in 4 different cases. He's been indicted on 34 charges in New York for allegedly falsifying business documents. He faces 37 felony counts related to classified documents found at his Mar-a-Lago home. Those are in addition to the election interference cases in Georgia and Washington, D.C.
Now to the stories we are following around the Bay. It was a violent night at Emeryville's Bay Street Mall. A number of fights broke out between hundreds of teens near the AMC Theater. Emeryville police say the fights were advertised on social media. At one point, a gunshot rang out and one person was stabbed. The fight led to the mall closing its doors early for the night. As of this morning, no arrests have been made. Union Square is officially closed. We were there when they shut the doors last night. The once busy store was empty, with displays roped off and whole departments deserted. No word on what will be going into that space. Fairfield police are asking for your help finding a missing woman they believe could be in danger. This is 36-year-old Erica Brown. She was last seen 1 week ago at her home in Fairfield, and police say Brown's boyfriend, also pictured right here, 45-year-old Mark Randall, is a person of interest. He was living with her during the time she disappeared. Randall was last seen driving a black sedan.
It'll be a warm afternoon for us widespread throughout the Bay Area as high pressure is slowly starting to build its way in. We're going to see this heat ramp up even more day by day until around Wednesday as that system moves its way in. As we take a look at conditions today alone, I mean, we're already sitting about 10 degrees above average in areas like Concord, all the way off into Antioch. But interestingly enough, some of our microclimates, we're not feeling that heat nearly as much. We're actually sitting a little bit below average near San Francisco and Pacifica today, about 7 degrees below where we should be for this time of year. So where does that put us? I mean, we're talking about upper 60s today along the coast with mostly sunny skies, complete sunshine in the forecast for us down into the Santa Clara Valley with 80s this afternoon. And here we go with those above average temperatures. Walnut Creek sitting at 90 degrees this afternoon. 96 near Pittsburgh. And as we pull back closer to the Bay Bridge and up even north, closer to areas like Kentfield and over into Mill Valley, we're in the 70s and 80s this afternoon. Now, we're going to keep a close eye on that excessive heat risk map. Like I mentioned, that area of high pressure is building its way in. So day by day, we're going to keep a very close eye on this because now we're going to be in that high category heading into our Wednesday forecast, getting close to the triple digits in our inland East Bay.
Well, the state of California is suing a Southern California school district of what they call a forced outing policy. Attorney General Rob Bonta announced the lawsuit today. His office is suing the Chino Valley Unified School District. Earlier this year, the district added a policy requiring school officials to notify parents if a student identifies as transgender. This includes if a student asks to use a different pronoun, bathrooms, or a different name.
The deeply troubling reality is that transgender and gender nonconforming students already face disproportionate levels of abuse and harassment and are at great risk of suicide and serious mental health issues. And when a school is not supportive and not affirming, when it doesn't create a positive, welcoming environment, it is even worse.
The school district has not publicly responded to the lawsuit.
The group Homies Empowerment is helping students in East Oakland stay away from the rising crime in the city. Sean Chitness has more on how they are reaching out to young people and giving them hope.
Homies Empowerment is taking over the block with a wellness center, a community kitchen, and right here with the Freedom Store. We were able to watch as another shipment arrived with fresh deliveries of fruits and vegetables, items that will go to families in the area as 400 people come through each Tuesday to receive those items. And while the Freedom Store continues the work here each week, they're also working on the Freedom School. We had a chance to tour it with their principal.
Real bullets happen in our neighborhood, but we can't just live in fear. You can come in and have an oasis. You know, that you can come in and not realize, wow, look at how beautiful this space is. Immaculate floors, access to microscopes, access to the best in education, and you can have it in the neighborhood. We always got to provide what's called stepping stones. Meet kids where they're at in terms of their connection to math, science, reading, and everything else, and then build a bridge so that they can be their scholarly selves.
How is that something you've worked into what you're doing with this school?
It's something called mirroring. And this notion that if you're my teacher and we look alike, we could start to relate. It's really powerful. And so everybody deserves mirroring of every culture, of every ethnicity. When you open up a book and you can see yourself in it and your story gets affirmed, you lean in. We're dealing with a difficult reality, but this doesn't have to be the only reality you see. You can also see Homies Empowerment.
And why do you believe you can do something when others were unable to?
You know, I'm just thankful that someone didn't give up on me. I've been undocumented most of my life. My father left when I was really little. My mom got deported when I was 9 years old. And oftentimes we give up on those kids. We're not saving anybody. No, they're gonna save themselves, but we're just seeing the brilliance that already exists in these kids and giving them the chances that got me all the way to Harvard University to get a doctorate. If I can get a doctorate, every single one of these kids in East Oakland can get a doctorate as well. They just deserve a real shot.
And Dr. Cruz tells us that they will start with 30 students in the fall, all freshmen, allowing them to grow together and graduate together, with the entire team staying with those 30 students. Back to you.
And today marks the 60th anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr.'s historic I Have a Dream speech and the March on Washington. Reverend Amos Brown from San Francisco was there, and Brown was a freedom rider in 1961 and a student of Dr. King's. Our Leslie Gooden was there for a special look back.
And here's my mugshot.
Reverend Dr. Amos Brown displays one of his mugshots that mark his work as one of Northern California's civil rights pioneers. He's also one of 8 students who attended the only class Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. taught at Morehouse, a historically black college in Georgia, the epicenter of the civil rights movement.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s handwritten notes for that seminar.
What Dr. King taught a young Amos Brown was moved to mirror, taking Dr. King's notes on the page to a living struggle for civil rights on the stage of history.
When we gathered in Washington, it was that unusual experience of seeing so many people who were peaceful, respectful, and determined to be about the business of working for jobs, justice, and peace.
On that day, the young Amos Brown caught that spirit, setting him on the firm foundation of his life's mission.
We didn't have time to come with hate in our minds, our bones, and our veins. We came as people of the spirit.
Adding that this has always been his calling.
And you're going to be the one, show the responsibility of bearing the burdens of our people. God is going to use you to do great things.
And decades later, Dr. Brown teaches that to deal with the dream, we must deal with reality. He's one of Northern California's biggest proponents of reparations. He's leading the charge to see people wronged repaid.
And what Dr. King dealt with in the first half of that speech was this bounce check that had come back insufficient funds when it came to the payment of what America owed us because of that crime that was committed against our humanity.
And something you said last time we spoke was, you're not going to stop until you can't anymore.
Yes.
Are you tired?
No. I have intermittent wells that I drink from. The wells created by my ancestors.